What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis coming to y'all with that quick analysis. We gonna talk about the Phoenix Suns who wrapped their series up very, very quick, 4-0 against the Denver Nuggets, and now we have the Los Angeles Clippers, a team that people call pretenders, a team that people thought wasn't that good, wasn't that great. They'd be out to Luka and the Mavericks. Found their way in their first Western Conference Finals in the entire existence of the franchise, and it's because of Kawhi Leonard. Patrick Beverly, Batum, Terrence Mann, Paul George, Zubac, and I can go on and on and on. They have made it to the conference finals, and it's a beautiful thing to see how this team was able to be down by 20 plus points, continue to fight, continue to pull through, keep their composure, keep the right mind frame, execute, make big shot, big plays on both ends of the court. And Paul George, the person people been disrespecting, the person that people feel like Kawhi Leonard made a mistake having him as his teammate, picking him as the guy that he needed to come down with him to play in the Clippers and change this organization to where they are now, which is one series away to being in the NBA Finals after beating the number one seeded Jazz, who was the favorite to win this series, especially when Kawhi, the Claw, Leonard went down for the last two games and they still got it done. One game in Utah and finished it off at home. It's just an amazing story and a beautiful thing to see. Even though I did think they would lose to Utah, it still is interesting to see a team like this that can match up and play so many different ways and have so many different guys that can get their own shot, that can also take over games, and you just don't know who's going to step up. They have a bunch of guys that you know who they are, but you just don't know what you're going to get out of them. But that's the difference. Phoenix, you know Devin Booker going to come and play. You know it's CP3, a player that was with the Clippers and had a good run with them, is now facing them. And he has to put them out to get his first chance of going to the NBA Finals. And it's amazing for the Suns who have gotten here their first season together with this entire team intact. And they are already in the conference finals weeks ago. But they're looking to get their first final appearance since the 90s, and the Clippers are looking to get their first finals appearance in history of their whole franchise, which is crazy that they never got this far, but now it's done, and now it's time to see who will win. If I had to be honest, I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns. The Suns have been amazing on both ends of the court all season and have been flat out amazing from the start to now. And I don't think that's going to change. I do think the Clippers don't have to rely on certain lineups against this team because they match up well naturally for them. It will be tough to win this series for the Clippers if they don't have Kawhi Leonard, because he will give them that wing defender that can switch and guard multiple positions, but also take over a game, control the game, and be a huge difference maker, especially when you have Chris Paul and Devin Booker coming at you. You want as many guys as you can throw at them, many guys that can cover them one-on-one and make it difficult for them. And you have two of the best wing defenders. You have Beverly, you have Rondo, and a lot of these guys can really help them a lot in this series. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Zubac, a guy that was decent in the Mavs series, but they had they best stride was going small. You know that's how they beat the Jazz, and that's how they was able to make it tough on the Mavericks. Morris has been huge for them, knocking down the mid range, knocking down the threes, playing on and off the ball. Kennard had some big games and some big shots to help them. This team is deep. This team has a lot of versatile scoring guys that can play, make, or score and play off the ball, and it just makes them very tough to defend for 48 minutes just because they can blitz you. They can also defend very good because they can cover a lot of space and they can match up against basically any lineup that you can throw out there. And that's what makes the Clippers unique. You know, that's what makes them special. And that's why they have gotten here because of that. And you got to give credit to Ty Lue, a guy that has tried and switched and continue to try to find any guy, whether it's Batum or Reggie or Terrence Mann. It don't matter. He is allowing guys to have their own type of impact on the game. He's trusting them. He's believing in these players, and they're going out there and showing that he making the right decisions because that's what we see, and that's how they have gotten here so far. But I will say this Phoenix team is different. This team has killers. This team will come at you. This team can run up and down, slow it down. This team has two guys that can create and score on any type of defense through any type of situation. And that's why it's going to be important to have Kawhi Leonard in this series, healthy and ready to go. But I think that this was going to be a 7-game series just because both of these teams, when healthy, both of these teams that went at their best, are on the same level. And the only reason why I like the Suns better is because they're more consistent than the Clippers. The Clippers, you don't really know what type of effort, what type of shooting performance they're going to have each and every game. And that's a big reason why they were down 25 because the Jazz was able to keep it going, but they stayed, positive and they continue to, play hard. And that's why they're going to be a tough team to put away. But this Clipper team is different than last year. They have really impressed me. They have really earned my respect to the highest level, and it just because of they play. They doing less talking and doing more playing, and that's the biggest difference to last year to this year, and that's why they have gotten further than they have ever done, with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George as a duo. But, the Suns, they have the weapons. They have Mikal Bridges. They have Jay Crowder. If they want to go small, they can do the same thing with Cameron Johnson, too. That will give them the space. That will give them the shooters. A lot of these guys can play off the ball, on the ball, too. And they can also get creation from a guy like Chris Paul or Devin Booker when they need it. Aiden will be a big factor if he can stay in and really, man that interior. But it's also going to be important because if they go small, they're going to go at them offensively like we seen them do, against the last two teams that they played against. So he's going to be interesting. He was huge in the last two series. He might be minimalized or he might be better because he actually can post up and he actually can make free throws, unlike Gobert. And that's going to be a big difference for, the Suns and those two type of thoughts of how they're going to play out this series as they continue to move forward. Also, it is going to be interesting to see the guard play from the Clippers. What are they going to get from Beverly? What are they going to get from Rondo? What are they going to get from Reggie Jackson against this team that is very active? The Suns cover a lot of space and they can, throw a lot of different switches out and live with the results. But who's defending them because they have a lot of good perimeter defenders or guys that's solid at that and is going to really, test the Clippers of, what they can really do. And, I think the Suns are different too. I don't think you can get down on this Suns team and pull a comeback. I think that with Chris Paul, and we have seen it throughout his career, he can kill you. He will, and we just seen it against the Denver Nuggets going for his career high in the playoffs. He's going to take care of the ball. He's going to make the right plays and the right decision, especially put the right talent and team and lineup around him, and he's going to get the job done. That's why it's going to be important to have Kawhi Leonard healthy when it matters most because he can do the same thing for the Clippers in those type of situations in the fourth quarter when it gets ugly. It's just whoever wants it more, whoever fights more, and whoever, stay disciplined and execute what's supposed to happen and make the tough ones at the same time throughout the fourth quarter is going to really determine who wins this series. But I just feel like the Suns are a little bit more consistent. I feel like the Suns are just a little bit more smarter and they just have a little bit more juice in them when it comes to competitiveness. And, if Kawhi Leonard was healthy from day one of this series, I definitely would probably even think considering taking the Clippers. But with us not knowing what he's going to be, with us not knowing if he's going to play, it really hurts their chances of getting off to a great start in this series. But it's only going to be one team that advances. It's only going to be one team, you know, that wins the series. And I'm gonna have to go with the Phoenix Suns, just like I did the last three series, the last two. They proved me right so far, and they looked it better than ever. Against Denver, they was able to be better offensively and still be active and chaotic defensively. And I don't see that changing against the Clippers. I think they're hungry, they're ready, and they have guys that put you away. And I feel like that should be enough to beat the Clippers, especially if Kawhi Leonard missed significant time in the series. But other than that, let me know what you guys think. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis signing out, and I'll be coming to y'all with my playoff reactions of the Jazz Clippers and also the Hawks Sixers. So stay up a little longer because I got y'all covered on that. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, and I'll see y'all later.